my authentic surroundings. So, how can spirituality heal you? Let's talk about that today. Recently, while I was writing my book, I was watching a podcast. I think it was Joe Rogan. And it was one of those things where you just went to YouTube and it just showed up. And it happened to be that there was a guy named Sean Carroll. So, Sean Carroll is one of the leading professors of quantum mechanics, quantum physics. So I had just been writing all day and I've been pulling I'm doing the proofreading actually, not the writing, but the proofreading. And I'd been pulling an all dayer. And then suddenly this guy says, talk about synchronicity. He's like, the reason why people, or basically why they don't understand how manifestation works is because the double slit test in quantum physics was about observing whether something was a particle and a wave. And they were shocked to find out that when the observer observed it, it would change and be different. Now, that's really fascinating because nobody thought that the observer's quantum field was actually affecting the field of what it was observing. So if you get what I'm saying here, hi Craig, here's what I'm saying is that before that double slit test basically was that a scientist would observe a particle and it would be in its form of particle and wave, and every time they observed it, it would change. And that was kind of a mystery. But now we understand that your quantum field, the observer's quantum field, is now affecting what you're observing. What does that mean in real life language? What does that mean about spirituality? It means that you and everything you see out there is interacting. And what is that interacting? And what does interacting mean? It means that what I'm seeing out there is what's in here. And what do you call in here? Well, Sadhguru calls it the inner engineering or the inner works. Jesus calls it the kingdom within. Some other spiritual people call it consciousness. Quantum physicists are now recognizing that there's something going on. They say it's non-locality, so you can't really locate yourself. Of which remind me someone that I have a dream. Hi, Craig. Hi, Mystic Vibes. Hi, Shelley. Good to see you here. So even though we think we're in this body, we're not really. Okay, so now you might say, oh, that's really going out there. Well, it is a spiritual channel. So let me explain. So your physical being is here so that you can be present in this moment and observe your inner self. Is that a wildcat fight? Literally, wildcats are fighting back there. Sometimes I hear donkeys, sometimes I hear dogs, roosters. I mean, it's back there. There's a farm back there. How they did studies where they would talk nice to some plants growing and talk mean to other plants. Yes. Okay, Nicole, you're bringing up something really cool. Right now on Instagram, it's really hot. It's a hot topic to go beside a branch and talk to the branch nicely and ask it to touch your shoulder or to touch your face. I did it. I did it yesterday, and I wanted to show my husband. He doesn't use Instagram. I do. And so clearly I was watching this and I wanted to try it. And you know what? The branch touched me. I was absolutely shocked. And I shouldn't be shocked because the reality is that what's happening around here is actually just an extension of what's happening internally. And it took a while, and it might take you a while, to figure out that you're actually creating this. And that's where minds start to boggle. That's where I think a big change happened in my personal spirituality and maybe in yours. And the thing is that quantum physics actually collaborates with that. Quantum physics is saying, especially Sean Carroll, if you want to learn more about quantum physics, Sean Carroll has some great books that really simplify it because, you know, I'm not a scientist. Hi, Daniel. So now, why do we care that out there is being created from here, this point. And remember, here is very relative, because if I have to describe to you where I am, where am I? You know, if you look inside of your body, where's your soul? You can't find your soul. Anyways, let's get to the point. Why does it matter? Because you are a master manifester. The question is, have you mastered manifesting? And so a lot of people love to talk about manifestation. I say, I'm going to pray to the universe. The universe has got my back. On the universe. And I even wrote a book called The Universe Is You. The reason is because it's my goal to help people understand that they are so grand. They are the universe. And you might say, well, how do you know? You're sitting in the back. Look at what, like, where are you? Well, I was able to have a dream where, now, hold yourself back for a minute, because I want you to know that I don't belong to any specific religion. However, clearly the archetype of Christ is within my consciousness, because I had a dream of Jesus. So in this dream, Jesus was, how shall I say, he looked like what you might think Jesus looked like long flowing hair. It was kind of brown, light brown, and his eyes were beautiful. But he taught me the keys to the universe and reality. And let me just briefly recount that dream for a moment, so that the people who don't know the dream kind of get where I'm talking about. So basically, he showed up in front of me. I couldn't believe it. I said, Jesus, is that you? He said yes. And the first thing he said is, my message has been misunderstood. My message has been misunderstood. This is in my book. So if you want to go in detail, once it's out, it's not out yet. It should be out. It was supposed to be out in May, but it'll be June. Proofreading. Anyways, Jesus said to me, my message has been misunderstood. And at that moment, I was thinking, why are you telling me? Like, what can I felt so underqualified, is what I'm trying to say. But I listened. And then he proceeded to talk to me, and he said, what you think is your life is not your life. I'm like, okay, like, I'm looking at him. I believe Jesus, because he's right there. I'm like, what I call my life is not my life. And then suddenly this ruler came out, and it was this long. It was golden, but it kind of looked like bronze too. And there were dots on it. He pointed to the dots, and he said, "You see those dots?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Those are your experiences. Your experiences have a beginning and an end. You are Alpha and Omega." And at this point in my dream, I'm very conscious. I've had lucid dreams before. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is incredible. I'm learning directly from Jesus. And I don't use the term Alpha and Omega. I mean, I love them, but that's not my everyday terminology. So I knew this was coming from a higher source. Later on in my experience, I realized that Jesus made the Christ consciousness, all consciousness, you and me connected. It may be that Jesus Christ represents an archetype, so that I could learn from my higher self, which is connected to you and God, basically. I hope it doesn't disappoint anyone, because I think everybody wants God to be this being in the sky, but I'm coming more and more to the realization that our collective is God. And I don't want to depreciate what people believe in God or Jesus, but I'm just letting you know I'm on to something. And so once Jesus showed me that what my life wasn't my life, he brought up a card, a white card. It was about this long, and he held it like this. And it said imagination. And what he was referring to is that everything out there is created in here, consciously or unconsciously. So your life events, and this is where I think I can help you. This is where I think my dream can help you. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. So this is where, if you're creating this, then you are the author. You are the author of your life. Now, that doesn't mean I am Silvia. That's all I am. It just means that currently, at this moment and point in time, I'm experiencing something that has a beginning and an end. But my soul, my inner beings, my inner kingdom, my inner workings, whatever you want to call it, is eternal. So in that case, I have authority as the author to transform the life the way that I want it. And if I can't transform it, if it's such a big problem, such as a big illness, or whether you feel that you're lacking abundance, or whether your relationships are very turbulent, understand that those painful events in your life, they are there to teach you. They are an obstacle in front of your path in order for you to work through it so that you can grow. We came here not only just to create, which is a lot of fun, but also to grow. And you know what they say, you know what you know if you know. Well, also we don't know what we don't know. And therefore, the things that come, yes, Kim, the things that happen to us, um, we don't realize that somewhere in a higher consciousness we recognize perhaps a void or a deficit or a desire to learn more about it. And just briefly, and I've talked about this many times, even in the last, so, I had a very turbulent relationship with the maternal part, the mother, and I come to learn that I fully do believe that my objective and goal was to understand the matriarchal energy. And if you have a problem with your father, it could be the same with that. Now, I don't want to go deep into that, but what I do want you to know is you're sharing my inner vision right now. I'm transmitting it to you. And you see, it is such a wonderful thing to believe, to understand, to know that you are the author of your own. The problem comes in when stuff's not lining up with your authenticity, with your true desire, when your life is not reflecting. And then we start to say things like, excuse me, I've got a bit of a runny nose, it's cold out here. We start saying, well, we got to pray to someone. We got to pray to someone to make it better. And that's okay. But understand who you're praying to is the highest version of yourself that's connected with everyone else's higher version, which is the most compassionate, loving, wise. Wisdom is really key here because wisdom makes way for compassion, and compassion has understanding. But ultimately, even though I'm talking very serious, ultimately we're here to have fun and create. The only thing is we take ourselves so seriously, and that's where like the ego comes in. The ego more tied with the identity. I don't really have a problem with the ego because I understand the role of the ego. The role of the ego is to question, to doubt, to get stuck in identity, to not be able to see past, reality, really. But now with quantum physics backing us up on all of this, I think it's easier to understand this, that your problems are the key to your growth. What does it say? Oh, Newfie's on. He actually lives not too far off. I think it might be the allergies to all the trees, but I don't know. I don't care. I love it. I love it so much. As a matter of fact, I'll take you guys for a little tour in a moment of where I live in the front part. I've been getting into all kinds of fun, planting trees, planting blueberry bushes. Why do I do that? Because probably it's a phase of my personal growth, but also it's because it brings me closer to spirituality. It connects me, so it's resonating. That's another thing to remember. Resonating. When you are authentic, when you are aligned, when you are awake, when you tap into your higher wisdom, you create a pulse that creates a resonance, and that resonance starts to build around you and builds worlds through your imagination. So imagination isn't like a child's play, for example. Not that I ever thought it was child's play, but it really is resonating and it builds worlds around you. Nobody has ever told you that you are the master of your universe. It seems far too egoic. It seems far too brash to say that. But guess who was saying it? Now, whether it's an archetype or whether it's reality doesn't really matter, okay? I love Jesus, but Jesus was talking about it. And he talked about being the mirror image of God. Not just him, but all of us. Are you getting that? That resonance, the mirror image of God. He talked, there's a donkey. I always get a kick out of it. Uh-huh. So he talked about all the things that we are talking about right now. It's just that when he said when he talked about the kingdom, and when he talked about his being part of the God creator, and when he talked about the resurrection, let me talk about that. Um, the resurrection was about forgetting the old self and stepping into your higher self, letting go of the limitations. Hey, babe, come here, doggy. He must see something around here, or somebody came. Anyways, this is live. This is really live. There's birds flying by. I've got eagles, hawks. So the joyous part, the biggest message here, I just want to share with you, is that you have the power to heal what you're seeing outside of you and inside of you. And I want to share kind of, it's come to me twice now, and I want to share this odd dream I had. So that's my gift to myself from my higher self. My higher self communicates with me in my sleep. And in my sleep, I had a very odd dream, one that I never usually had. So this one here was where I actually opened up the lower part between the belly button and the lower part. I opened it up surgically. Didn't hurt. Um, and I looked inside. And now this is symbolism. And I was thinking, where am I? Because I can't find myself in here. And again, I didn't really want to talk about this dream because it's a little odd, but I looked and I wasn't there. And I want to help you understand that you are not locally located in your body as much as it feels that you are. So if you're manifesting sickness in your body, I do not want to um, make you feel like you're making it up, okay? I'm going to start with that. However, your mental being, your mental construct has actually created a vibration of non wellness. And that's okay. It happens to all of us, it happens all around us, and it is a reflection. And you could do the opposite too. So you have the power to do that. The body holds the score. Yes, Nicole. Nicole, today you are on fire. Excellent. So the body in the tissues of what we think are tissues is actually holding on to our vibration and is a very true friend and is a very true indicator of how we are doing. If you want to know how you're doing, just uh, look in the mirror, like Jesus said to me, look in the mirror. What do you see, Silvia? I said, I see planets, stars. I want you to know, I don't think that I'm special or the dream was special. I think we're all special when we wake up to the fact that everything that's reflected is us. And then the first question is, well, I didn't reflect this. Oftentimes I get opposition from people who are saying, well, I didn't ask to be sick, or I didn't ask this, because I've been kind of talking about this message slowly, not as powerfully, but and I want you to know, any problems that you have, they are opportunities for you to work through them, to grow, and you are not locked in to this experience. This experience has a beginning and an end. So while you're here, enjoy it. You utilize your creative powers, your creative authority, the author of your story, to create the story you want. And when it comes to relationships, for example, this is an area where I feel that I think that I'm understanding clearly. If you are a loving person and you vibrate the love with no fear, no fear of distrust or any of those things, you are going to actually create for yourself the best partnerships, whether they're friendships, relationships for you. But if within your resonance, within your being, there is a field of dissonance, you could call it, then don't get upset at that person or at yourself. Just say, hey, how can I reauthor this? How can I rewrite this? What can I learn from this? What is this displaying within my field of energy? Back to field of energies. We have Sean Carroll, which is a professor of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, saying that the field of the observer, which could be a human being or an instrument, is influencing the outcome of particles and matter. And that process is called entanglement, which was observed first by Einstein, or some, I think he either had a problem with it or he brought it up. It was, spooky, mystery, so on and so forth. Anyways, I am not a scientist, but what you see, entanglement. You're the one who is entangled in this observation. You're the one who's has resonance to create realities and to co-create with other realities. Let me show you a spooky action at a distance. Yes, thank you so much. Whenever I'm talking, I'm in such a flow, I can't remember the things that normally I would remember. Anyways, so let me show you an example, okay? You are seeing this. This is coming from my field. I am projecting this field. And it's not hard for you to get this. Oh, this is technology. I see her on Vancouver Island streaming and I see what's behind her. But what's harder to understand is that this is a construct of my mind. And you are experiencing the construct of my mind. And it's all on a non-physical, non-local level. Like if you didn't know I was on Vancouver Island, where am I? Well, I'm in the same dimension as you are. However, it's more difficult for us to understand that we're projecting our reality than it is to watch me going over the waves, showing and appearing on your phone or on your computer. Anyhow, I hope that today brought to you faith in yourself, in the author of your authority, so that you can create the life that you want by being exactly who you are, aligning yourself, being authentic, believing in yourself, knowing that there are parts of you, a higher self, that is the supra consciousness, and that this experience has a beginning and an end. So you might as well enjoy it. And if you're looking for trouble, you'll find it. If you're looking for joy, you'll find it. Because the universe, which is us reflecting back to us, is the truest mirror of our being. And that to me is gold. That to me is the key to happiness, to joy, to creatorship. Now, am I really good at doing this? I'm just awakening to this. That's why I'm so excited to share it. That's why I wrote the book about the dream. And there's more in that book that I talk about. It's coming out early June. I know I said May, but it's going to be June. I had to proofread some stuff. It's looking really good, though. Anyways, back to you. You can be happy as soon as you become aware and conscious of your true identity and who you are and what your potential is. And to the degree, remember Jesus said, to the degree of your faith, and maybe someone can correct me, but to the degree of your faith, you will be healed. I'm telling you that in just different contexts, to the degree that you understand your power and that you are creating your surroundings is going to be to the same degree that you are going to experience maximum joy, maximum wisdom, maximum healing, maximum power, whatever it is that you truly desire. And remember this, you might be able to sort of kid or hide things from yourself and others, but your resonance is absolutely accurate. It's absolutely crystal clear. So when you see things outside of you, understand that that is the purest form of reflection of who you are. So if you want to tap into your most purest self, then you're going to want to put yourself in environments. You're actually creating them. You're not putting yourself in them, but putting yourself in environments, creating new environments with the power. And this is why in that dream, Jesus said with his hand, he turned it like this and he said, the kingdom is within, and he put his hand to my heart. So this kingdom, it's not a religious place, guys. It's not a place that you have to be good enough to get to. It's actually your core, your source, the place you go, the conscious cave, the place where all abundance is, the place where all things that create material things or spiritual things, whatever you want to call them, anything that exists starts within the kingdom. And it starts with your imagination. And your imagination is a very clean slate. Every second, every moment, Infinity is coming from that place, the kingdom, and your imagination. And that, my friends, is your creatorship. That is your inheritance. That is who you are. I'm really excited. I can't wait to create more. I will be streaming. I'm going on a little holiday. I'm going back to Rome. I feel really close to Rome and Sardinia, and I want to go back there to get energized. I want to create that reality for myself. So in my head, I'm thinking, I get a plane ticket, I'm going to get my luggage, I'm going to go there. But in reality, what's really happening is I'm ready for a shift. And my shift of consciousness, in order for me to be aware of what's happening, I have to tell myself a story. What story are you telling yourself? Every day when you wake up, what story, how much room are you leaving for creativity? How much room are you leaving for your dreams? Yeah. So let's go see outside, okay? Let's go check this out. So back here is where the deer, oh, there's a big eagle right there. I'm not sure if you can see it, if it's too bright. It's coming, it's coming. Here we go. Oh God, he showed up just for us. Every time I see an eagle, I always think that's your consciousness appearing for me. And back there, that's where the deer roam around. So I have deer that are on the land, and they actually come by and say hello. I never touch them or pet them or anything because I don't think that that's a good idea. But yeah, I can take you deeper in here with me for a minute. So I am exactly happy uh, that you joined me today, and it makes me feel like I know that if you're here because you're vibing the same vibe and you're sharing the same reality with me at this moment. And um, my ultimate goal is that you are become and are as happy as I am happy, and that you understand the possibility for yourself. And that's my entire goal. Like, I'm going to do other things in my life. Obviously, I live everyday life, but my goal is that you awaken to your true self and your highest self, and that with that, you become a creator along the way with me. So thank you for joining me today. Much love to you. Let me just read this, Lois. My girlfriend broke my heart. She cheated on me with, okay. Yeah, I'm not on my computer, so I can't delete those things, but that's hilarious, I tell you. Not, not what you wrote, but the fact that there's always going to be, self-doubt and those types of things that crop into. That's actually a really good point because in our minds, we do have that monkey mind as well that crops up and gives us opportunity to doubt ourselves, but don't really. Stay with it. Thanks, Sylvia. Have a blessed day. You too, Craig. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. I've been watching since your NDE interviews, and you've always resonated deeply with me. That's because I am